Um, I am calling the meeting to order. Hello, everyone. First order of is to get the agenda approved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And we got the thumbs up from Heather.
Good.
Um, just to let everybody know, this is a important meeting, but the agenda is very short and has to do with the fact that we expected the mayor and council to vote on to talk about and announce the space in Ward 5 yesterday, and they're going to do it next week. And so our approved timeline, we need to vote it to move the timeline out a week. And that's the main purpose of this meeting. Take it
Exactly.
away, Jessica.
So I'm not sure, I was having some issues with the Dropbox, so I'm not sure if you were able to see this. This is the cover memo that I prepared for the mayor and council on what they need to do. And obviously we know the reason why we're doing this is because we didn't have anyone run for the Ward 5 council seat and there were no write-ins. What's important here is that this is again a two-step process that they need to adopt a resolution or a motion. It's going to be just a motion this time, basically saying that the Ward 5 seat is vacant. And then they'll need to set the date, time, and location by adopting an emergency ordinance. And in order to do that, there's like three steps. Like you do an introduction, then you do a motion to suspend the rules, and then you adopt the ordinance. And basically that just allows you to do an emergency ordinance. So it's three steps. So now that the council will, we anticipate that the council will declare the vacancy next week. The time frame changes from July 9th to July the 24th. And
Okay.
I went ahead and just put in 1 week past what we had already, what the board had proposed would be July 20th. And that's a Sunday, and that would be the election, special election date. And as a reminder, that would be canceled if there were no candidates that filed to run for office. So that would change again. The election date would be Sunday, July 20th, and then the candidate filing deadline would be Wednesday, June the 25th. So all of those are just pushing everything back a week. So I wanted to bring it back to the board to, find out if that was still okay, if you were fine with going with Sunday, July the 20th instead of the week prior.
I think that's fine.
Okay. All right.
Any issues? Should we vote on it? We need a motion.
That'd be great.
I move that we adopt the filing deadline of June 25th and the election day of July 20th for the special election for the Ward 5 vacant seat.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi. Now, full disclosure, I will not be available on June 25th.
Okay.
I will be in California, plus that is my wedding anniversary.
Okay. Well,
That's important.
congratulations.
Democracy is more important than your marriage.
Well, I think that that's a fine idea. As
I
someone who has worked many May 1sts,
Yes,
I
that's
endorse it. Go
Kate's
ahead.
anniversary is always around election time. She's
Go,
always it has to.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Have a glass of champagne
Yep.
for us.
Well, and I will be in California.
Yes.
So.
Good.
Not a problem.
Sounds like fun.
We'll just need if we have enough people, then that day we'll be needing to review the candidate packets, and as long as we have 4 or 5 of us, then we should be fine.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's that. And again, the filing deadline that was recommended was 25 days prior to the election, and that was discussed with Town Attorney Sussman. And he felt like 25 days was not an arbitrary number. I mean, I guess the council could choose an arbitrary number, but 25 seemed to be the number that we used before we changed it to 65. So just wanted to make sure we were good with that. So this is what'll go before the council on Monday night. They'll have this basically spelling out what needs to happen, and then the emergency ordinance, which has already been reviewed by Fred, and then that ordinance will go into effect right away. And so what's important about that is just that that starts the clock as soon as the council takes action. And so I wanted the board to take a look at the notices that were included. I added them to the Dropbox, I think, earlier this week, but let me
Yeah,
just share with you. The one thing that's different, and I wanted to make sure the board was comfortable with this, is that this paragraph was added to basically say what the requirements are for a council member. And because we didn't have a candidate before, I thought this was probably important for anybody who's considering this. And the plan is to have this document translated double-sided, and staff will literally slide one under every door in Park Tanglewood.
that's
Um,
great.
so
That's fantastic. Yeah.
so I just want to have these dates and
Yep.
everything good. If you could just like look at them closely and let me know if you have any changes or I missed any like dates because we had to change the date more than once. Um, and so again, the absentee mail-in ballot deadline will be 10 days before the election, which will be July 10th. I don't know what's going to happen if we have to cancel it and people have already requested. We're just going to have to like send them a little letter saying that there's no election happening. Um, and then that's it. So everything after Monday, like we really have to hit the ground running. All the
Right.
candidate packets have to be up, printed, ready to go. I have staff already geared up to drop off the flyers like within the next day or two after this is done. And then we just kind of wait. The one other thing I wanted to update the board about is so I did talk to the County Board of Elections. And just from my sustainability standpoint, I asked if we could use the voter cards from the election we just had, and they told me no. So that I understand, but I just wanted to ask instead of like generating all these again.
Yeah.
And my understanding is that they very quickly can print these out for us because it's such a small ward, also.
Yeah.
Right.
And they won't do anything until we know whether we're having an election.
Okay.
Okay, so everything will
Okay.
really, after June 25th, the Board of Elections at the county will do their own part of it.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you for checking.
oh
Yep.
yeah, no problem. I didn't know how quickly we could do that.
Yep.
The only other thing I wanted to ask about, they also can do the voter notification cards, and of course, that's an additional expense. Um, I thought it was worth it to touch the voters as many times as we can. But it's if the boards doesn't want to do that, that's fine too. But I think it's worthwhile if we can afford to do it.
If it's not a budgetary constraint, the more voter outreach we can do, the better. Yeah.
Right. Well, it also matches what we do for regular elections.
Yep.
So yes.
Okay.
Is there anything on this thing that's going to be distributed to the residents of Ward 5? Any part of the website it's that talks that specifically talks about what this job is?
Um, We didn't really have the only description I would say is just what you need to
Do
do,
it
like
here.
just like we had for the
Okay.
regular election. I think that's
Yeah.
something we want to the board wanted to improve upon in
Yep.
future
Yeah.
years. Ideally, there would be some outreach happening now that
Mhm.
doesn't involve the board to try to generate some interest. It's not a huge list of registered voters in Ward 5, so I'm not aware of any of that happening. So I feel like right now it's really the board getting out the information and
Yep.
letting people know. I did do a like a not really vague, but I did a little article in the Crier that said a Ward 5 special election is coming. This is what we expect when we expect the decision to be made on the date. This is what you need to know if you want to be a candidate, and this is what you get paid. So I thought
Yeah.
maybe that would
That's a
help.
good thing.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
we've never done that before, but
Yeah.
that was, I thought, appropriate.
Is there any way in that letter we can say, here's a link to the schedule of the calendar of when the meetings are and to past recordings of past meetings if people want to look at agendas and things like that. Could we put that in the letter?
So the problem is that because we've just switched over in administrations literally on Monday, we don't
Yep.
have a new council meeting schedule yet. But
Okay.
we can say something like and we could do a QR code on the flyer for
Okay.
more information. And we can maybe add that to like the section of so you want to be a candidate. Like we
Okay.
could beef that up with links to previous council meetings.
I just, I'm not convinced that that anybody that most people know, especially in Ward 5, what the role is, and if we can give them any insight.
Yeah.
It looks like Heather's going to be out of town on June 25th as well.
Yep.
So, can we ask Fred how many people need to be here to review the candidate packet or what we should be doing instead?
So, a majority, what you need a majority of the board to hold a meeting,
Okay.
like a quorum of the board.
Okay.
And so I think that's what you would need. You probably need to confirm with Jahara that she would
Okay.
be
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
And then what do we do if she's not available?
We could push it to the next day, or
Okay.
is that
So
better for you,
we
Heather?
need a commitment from her like now, right?
And this is very hard. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
think we have to all recognize that this is like a moving target, and it's
Sure.
really hard for people to commit to this. I was kind of lamenting about the amount of time we had because I really feel like 30 to 45 days is so tight to plan an election. And what the Board of Elections told me that there's a lot of special elections apparently this year, and it's very common
Yeah.
that that's common time frame. So
Yeah.
see what.
And I see that Jahara wrote back. I'm just looking and I missed it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Jessica and I were talking about it. We're also spread so thin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I just missed her note.
Yep.
Sarah, maybe you and I should send her an email tonight
Yep.
and say,
So
please, if you
sorry
could
that
be
we haven't
available.
been able, and we really need you to
Right.
be available on this date. And this is all last minute to all of us. And once this election cycle is over, it goes back to the third Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
But we're just not done with this election cycle yet.
Right.
And it doesn't
Right.
have to be every month. We can give
Yeah.
ourselves some breathing room to
Yep.
like take
But
some
not
time.
much.
Not much, but give us some time. I do love spending time with all of you, but
Oh yeah,
I'm sure we
me
are
too.
all over it at this point.
Me
Yep.
too.
Okay, so this is what it just like our regular election, the candidate filing deadline will happen at 5 p.m. And then if we can do it then that same day or the next day, maybe Jahara is available the next day, we can do it
Yeah.
then.
Right.
And then the Ethics Commission has to review any packets we have. They don't even know a special election is happening. The only
Yeah.
person who knows that is Fred. And it's only because they meet next week. So I'll talk to them then. And hopefully we don't have an issue with them doing their part of it before that time.
Do we have an issue with going and unlocking? Do we need to open once this is announced, we need
Yeah.
to open up the things? Will we have two of them by the time?
We have two.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'd have to check on how quickly we could get that cement poured and
Okay.
ready to go. But we do
Well,
have the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about we will need to check it on the 25th, right? Whichever
Yeah.
one's in place.
I think
Yeah.
for the candidate packets, let's keep the one at town hall.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And then when we know we're
Yeah.
having an election, we can put the second one up and
Yep.
then
Right.
go from there.
Yep.
I don't want to put I want to find balance in the things that we have, like the additional expenses we have coming up and trying to minimize those because we're
Yep.
going to bleed over into the next fiscal year and there's nothing budgeted for an election in the next fiscal year, but we'll figure it out if we have
Yep.
to. Okay, so that's where we are with that. I think we will have a very tight timeline after June the 25th. If somebody is running for office, we'll have to
Mhm.
get like yard signs printed, other things to just kind of get people interested in the election. And then yeah, so that should be everything. I think in the course of us talking about all of the other items, I think that we covered, I'm sorry, Heather, if you had other, okay, she's out of town. Um, I think we've covered really everything else. If you could just do like a real eagle eye, make sure the dates are right on the
Yeah.
packets.
When do you need these by? Tomorrow?
Well, no, by Friday, if you
Okay,
Friday, or over the weekend,
okay,
I could just get a response back that everything looks
okay.
good. I look at it more than once and I'm like, okay, I missed this
Yeah,
date. So it's just,
sure,
I'm looking at it too many
sure.
times.
Does
Yep.
anybody else, does anybody else have a problem taking a look by Friday?
I am
Everybody
not a good
okay with
copy
it?
editor. I can
Well,
look at
that's
it,
not,
but I'm not
but
good.
that's okay.
Okay.
Just to look at it, to let
Sure.
Jessica know
Yep.
Friday-ish that
Yep.
it's either good or not
Yep.
is,
Yep.
and if everybody does, that's better than if
And
just one or two people do it.
yep.
Yeah,
I can
I'll be
look
able
at
to
that.
take a look by
So
Friday,
we'll
no
put that
problem.
into,
Yep.
perfect.
we'll put that in our note to Jahara as well.
Yep.
And then the only other thing is just like any regular election, we'll have to fill out a county like form that says when our date, time, and location is. And just like in the previous election, we want to keep, I think that the board would want to keep the voter rolls open as late as possible. And then that date is determined by the Board of Elections. They tell us like how quickly they need to close it in order
Yeah,
to do the voter cards. So
right,
we'll try to do that as well.
right. And
Yeah,
we
that
won't
should
have
be
a
okay.
problem if we have an actual election. We won't have, we'll be able to get a translator and so that we can do same day registration and that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
good, good,
and
good, good.
we won't have any issue with that at all. I will have to figure out a temporary use and occupancy for the election. Like I think we'll probably have to extend it by another month. So there's just a lot of things. People act like this is not a big deal, but there are 5
It
million
is
little pieces
huge.
that are moving in all directions. So
Yep.
I say
Thank
people,
you.
I don't know who those people are, but just everybody in general doesn't realize these little pieces. So we'll get that done. I did not put any of the election supplies away. I did not put the booths away just in case. And when we know we're going to cancel it, or if we cancel it, we'll do all that at that time. I've not
Okay,
opened or touched any of the other materials from the previous election. So we'll do all that once
okay,
we know.
okay.
Sounds good.
So I think that's it. The only question I had for the board is when you have a regular meeting scheduled for June the 18th. And that was convenient because it was going to be the candidate filing deadline. Do you want to still keep the meeting on the 18th and then meet on the 25th also, or what's the plan?
Well, Heather and Terry are away on the 25th.
So why don't we keep the 18th?
So it seems like the 18th might be a good time. And by then we'll know that all
Well,
of
we'll know
these
a lot more.
materials are apple pie order and that people who, and we will have by then figured out whether or not we're going to have a quorum
Yep.
Yeah.
for
And if
the
we don't have a
25th,
quorum, then we'll have to figure out what we do in
another
that
day.
stead.
Right.
So
Did we also want to invite on the 18th the other election
Judges.
judges so that we have that retrospect as soon as possible after?
I think that would be a really good idea.
The only problem is I do
Yeah.
have a conflict on the 18th. We're doing the fireworks for the town's centennial that night.
Oh, exciting.
So I
That's
mean,
right.
I don't have anything going on at the office, but right.
No.
Yeah.
So we can the fireworks don't start until, can we move the meeting up a little bit to like 6:30?
Yes.
We could, yeah. And those people who can't make it we'll get here at 7. You know, I mean, that's what we'll have to do, right?
Although, Jessica, if that's compressing your day too much, let's rethink this before we sign up. It sounds like there's a lot going on. And I, for one, happen to know that the actual date is June 3rd, and I missed it yesterday. But there you have it.
June 3rd for what? Oh, the actual
This,
day of
the
our,
actual day of the anniversary of the founding of Riverdale Park.
oh, how many years? 100?
It's 100
105.
now.
Wow,
105, yeah.
105.
I only know that because I had a niece born on that day.
Ah, okay.
They were
Gotta have
living
that.
here in Riverdale. Yeah.
Yeah, that memory cue. Okay, so if we are going, I understand the longer we wait until we review the stuff for the elections, the more we're just going to meld over and forget what actually happened.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like we have a priority right now of the Ward 5 and figuring that
Yeah.
out. And maybe we want to keep the focus on that. And once June 25th happens, we'll know whether what we're doing
Yeah.
there and be
Yeah.
able to refocus on
Right.
the next 2 years
Right.
or whether we need to focus on the Ward 5.
Yeah.
Are you
And I'm
guys
not going to
comfortable?
lie to you. It is going to be really hard for me to write anything down between now and the 25th.
Yeah.
I'm not going
What are
to.
you doing, Kate? I mean, come
Nothing.
on.
I'm filing my nails instead of throwing them
Yes,
away.
you're getting your hair done and gossiping.
True. All true.
Um, Terry, is that I know you had
I know.
you had mentioned not forgetting the stuff. Is that seem reasonable to kind of just focus on Ward 5 for the time being?
I mean, I think that we're not gonna like this is something that I deal with in my job all the time.
Yep.
If we don't have a retrospect within the first like 3 weeks of the event, there's almost no point in having it.
Right. We don't. People forget. I get it.
Yeah.
I get all of that.
Yeah.
Terry, do you have
However,
any tools that we can use? Like I know we used to do something like a critique form where people had certain questions and it jogged people's memories about different things. Do you have a tool that you use at your work, or is it just get everybody around the table and talk about it?
Well, ours are about like product launches, so we have very specific questions about like what went well, what didn't, like to jog people's memories. I'd have to try to come up with something specifically for this. I mean, is there any chance that we could move it like to a different day so it doesn't conflict with the fireworks, or at least proactively get it on the calendar for July so that folks know that it's coming and suggest that they like jot down
right.
anything that they can
Take
think
notes
of
now.
right now.
Yes, have written notes that I have not looked at. I have not. And I should have, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, because we could spin up pretty quickly like a Google form and just say, hey, the meeting is going to be on whatever date if we're going to hold it on in July. Because I do think that it makes sense to like focus our efforts where like what is most immediate, but I also don't want to lose any like insights or like opportunities for improvements or like, roses,
Agreed.
buds, thorns.
Can
So
we ask you to come up with a Google form that you kind of that you can share with us, and then we can distribute out to all the judges?
yep.
Terry, on the last month's agenda, there was a list of like topics to cover. So maybe that can help you put together the Google form just with areas that we wanted to focus on getting feedback on.
Cool.
So then the next part of that is, when is the meeting that we're going to do this?
Could we do July the 9th? Our regular
Yes.
date is the 16th, but I will likely be out of town, and I'll be out of town the week before that.
Well, let's just go ahead and shoot for that, right?
Yes.
What date is it again?
It's
That's
a Wednesday, July 9th.
9th.
As long as it's not the weekend of July 4th, I'm good to go.
Okay. And that'll be, if we are having an election, we'll be
Yeah,
about
we'll need
a
to be
little over a
talking about
week
it.
out.
Yeah.
So that's when we would need to meet anyways.
The 16th? I already have that as the day. That's the third Wednesday of the month, on July 16th, as our normal meeting.
Yeah, that's why, but I'm
No,
gonna be
let's
out
do
of
it on the
town
9th.
The 9th. I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. I
Right.
got
And then
them
the
all
election
confused.
would be
Yep.
the 20th if we're actually having it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So that would be
Yeah.
just a week in between.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we're gonna hold the next meeting on June the 25th?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Knowing that we will have at least two that can attend.
Yes. And
Right.
we're gonna reach out, Kate and I are gonna reach out to Chihiro tonight and see if if she can make it on the 25th. And if not, then we'll work with her to figure out a day where she's available that week.
Okay.
Yeah. And is there anything in the rules that say that we need to certify them absolutely 100% on that date, the filing date? Or do we have is there play in that? Like, could we make it on the 26th or could we make it on?
They all, if there's a candidate, they also have to go through the finance, the
Right.
stuff as well. And that normally takes them a little bit of time as well. So I think there's some wiggle room, right?
There is a little bit. It's just that we have to print the ballots and we
Yeah.
talked about doing
Yep.
them in-house anyways.
Yeah,
And
Yep.
we have to do it
we
right
have
away.
to post the candidates,
Yep.
give
Okay.
people. So we'll probably have to do a second round of notices if we have candidates,
Yep.
get those distributed in the same way. It's mostly Park Tanglewood, so I think it's probably the best just having a few staff members just slide the flyers under the door
Yep.
and go from there.
That's great.
I think so.
Okay, so we'll lean on Jahara to be able to be there.
Yes, we
That's
will,
what
we
we'll
will,
do. We will
promise
invite
her.
her to make herself available. How about
Yes,
that?
we will ask her politely and
That'd be good.
enthusiastically.
Okay.
All right. I know this is really tough to get all these. Oops, I'm
Yep.
sorry. Heather, you probably had comments and I didn't look at it.
She said that she can do July 9th and that she's walking the dogs.
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
So, do I wait to send out something to the election judges until we have something from Terry, like a Google form, or do you want me to just do a save the date for July?
Yeah. Today's
I
is
would say
probably a
save the
really
date,
good
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then
That's
we're doing
wise
7
thinking.
p.m. and was that fine?
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
7 p.m. was easier for Jahira. I know
Okay.
that.
All right, great. Okay, perfect. So our next meeting is June the 25th at 7 p.m.
Mhm.
And that's the same as the candidate filing deadline. And then the other issue too, Kate, let's think about this. We do need to do it on the 25th because the Ethics Commission will meet, they'll review, then they have to send the packets back if they're not done, and then we're gonna have to meet again in between
Right.
to like say these are the candidates. So
Right.
that's a good idea. But just
Yeah.
keep in mind those are gonna be fast and furious.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
We
Yeah.
hope there will be something to look at.
that would be
Yeah.
the greatest.
Yeah, it would.
I'll send out a save the date for the July the 5th, or I'm sorry, 9th, and to get all that out the door and get the meeting up on the website and all that. Okay,
Excellent.
great.
Okay.
I think we're moving right along.
Okay, Kate, how do you want to work with the stuff with Jahira before?
When we're done with this meeting, let's just write an email. If you
Okay.
want to write it and send it to me, I will ship it to her. However you want
Okay.
to do that is fine with me. I still have 2 more things that I need to do for work tonight.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm not going anywhere.
Yep. Okay. So I will, I'll come up with the draft and send it to you and you can fix it.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
On that lovely note, this meeting is adjourned until further notice till June 20th.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Take
everybody.
care, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Jessica.
Bye-bye.